sure to cook. Today we're going to be doing meatball subs. We're going to do everything homemade. And I'm going to add a little Creole seasoning inside of there. I'm going to give this a great stir. Look at that, guys. I am good to go. I hear you. Yes. Oh my God, that is wonderful. So that was about 4 to 5. I'm back. Bye. Welcome back to another episode of Be Sure to Cook. Today, we're going to be making chicken kebabs with vegetables and egg fried rice. So stay tuned and let's do this. Okay, today we're going to be using boneless, skinless thighs. You can use breast meat, boneless, skinless breast meat, or you can use thighs. Any one you want, or if you want to, you can use any kind of pheasant, such as, chicken, duck, whatever you want to use. Okay, so some of the fat I'm taking off because you don't need that much fat, but you need some to make flavor. You want the flavor of this chicken, and you want to make sure, and I'm going to, cut them up in squares or, just hunks. So I just take it, cut it in half, and I'm just going to put these up because these kebabs that I'm making are going to be great. With the vegetables, it's going to make a really, people want good meat. That's a little too much fat. So let's just cut a little bit of this fat off. Okay, this is the meat that we rinsed and cut for the kebabs. I'm going to put a little seasoning on there. You know how I am. I'm a seasoned type of person. So I'm going to be using some onion powder. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there. Of course, Mrs. Dash Blend. I use this on everything. Everybody knows that. You can discard this if you don't. But it has all kind of other seasons in there. You just want enough just to sprinkle on there to make sure, you get some flavor. Let's go ahead and let's mix this up and let that sit for a minute while we get our sauce together. Last but not least, I forgot the garlic powder. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit because I am going to use fresh garlic also. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on that chicken. And this is what I'm putting on the chicken, just a little bit of the garlic powder. Because I'm not going to be putting any fresh garlic in this, but I'm going to be using fresh garlic in our rice. So you're going to get double the garlic. Okay, so we're just going to mix this up good. Or you can massage this with your hands if you want. But I've been rinsing and doing this with my hands for the whole time with this chicken. So I can't take another rinse right now. They're kind of like really dry. I'm letting them just cool down. So I'm getting all that flavor. This is going to sit while I make the marinade. Okay, in a very small bowl or medium-sized bowl or a big bowl, depends on, I'm going to be using 1/4 cup of teriyaki sauce. You can use more, maybe more. I'm going to put a little bit more in there. I'm going to use half of this too. So I'm going to use about a half a cup. This is all together. This is about a half a cup of teriyaki sauce because I'm making a lot because I'm going to continue to use this and I'm going to cook this and we're going to put this on it at the end. Okay, and then I'm going to get my other ingredients out. Okay, this is Be Sure's way. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar with that. There we go, guys. Using some of that. And then I'm going to also use about a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil to give a little oil flavor in there because we do need some and it's healthy. Alrighty. Of course, a little bit of, just a tiny bit, a pinch or so of Mrs. Dash. And then I'm going to be using some Hoisin sauce. That is really good. Okay, ground ginger. You can do fresh, which I was going to, but I wanted to blend in with this. So I'm going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Like, this is my sauce, And you can make your teriyaki sauce and fix it up any way you want. I know I love it. Okay, so we're going to be getting this Hoisin sauce together. 1/3 cup of Hoisin sauce. Okay. Okay, some cracked black pepper. Put that in there. Yep. Mix that up really good. Okay. As I go, I felt it was a little bit not sweet. I want mine on a little sweet side, just a little sweet side, because I want my chicken to be sweet. But if you don't like sweet, just add a pinch of sugar if you want. So I tell you to add a pinch of sugar, and if you want a little sweetness, at least a teaspoon of sugar and go from there. So if it's not sweet enough after you do it, add another one and get it into where your taste buds, where you think it's just right for you. Because some people get this recipe and like, the sauce could have been a little sweeter, the sauce could have been less sweeter, the sauce could have had a little bit of less this or less that. Play around with it. Get it to where you want it to be. Okay, there's some sesame seeds. I'm not toasting these sesame seeds because it's going to be grilling on the chicken. I'm just going to add a pinch of sesame seeds in there just to give it a little color, because I want this to rub up on the kebab chicken, and I want them to kind of stick, and I want them to cook on there. Give it a little color. Okay, now our chicken has been sitting and soaking in what we had in there. We're going to take some of our sauce. We're not going to take all of it, and we're going to just pour some of it over here, over the chicken, the raw chicken. And we're just going to mix this all up and making sure every piece of chicken is covered with this wonderful sauce. Okay, now I'm preparing.
It's not going to be no problem.
Okay, I've already have started, and I have cut these carrots into like strips, and I want them into, little squares. Not really big because I want them to cook through, and I don't want them really small. I want them just nice size. But you can have them any way you want. In the meantime, I've got a can of soybeans sprouts, and usually you can use fresh, but then I had to go clean them and do all that to take the easy short way. I got a can of sprouts, and this comes in water, already peeled and rinsed and washed. So as y'all know me, thin slices. Okay, I had the bean sprouts, and they drain as much as I can drain them. I'm going to add a little garlic in here, and I'm going to stir this garlic around. I'm going to add a little soy sauce, and believe it or not, this soy sauce that I'm adding in here is low sodium. But if you don't have low sodium, just add whatever you have. Okay, so that just slid off easily, didn't it? I am using a white onion, or you can use a yellow onion. You can use any onion you want, but in this dish, I think a white onion goes better because it gives it more of a crunch and a more of a sweeter taste to me. But you can use any one. I prefer not to use any shallots or anything like that. And you are going to be using green onions also in this dish. So if you don't have a white onion or a yellow onion, you can just use the green onions. You can do that. So, but I'm going to be using this onion for two dishes, the kebabs and for the rice also. Okay, so this time I'm cutting my onion in half. And then I'm going to cut it like so and like so, because I'm going to need peels like this. Okay, and you're going to cut it, and you're going to break it apart like it's, because you want all this to be nice and peeled easy, because you're going to be putting this in your kebabs, on top of your kebabs, the chicken. And I'm going to also do a green pepper just like this in squares. Now the smaller pieces like this. So make sure you get enough because I'm going to be using some of this in rice also. Now I got a smaller ones that are going into my fried rice. Okay, so these are for the kebabs, and this is for the Chinese rice with the egg fried rice, which is still kind of considered, Chinese kind of like. We're gonna have to clean out these seeds, and we're gonna cut this up. I'm gonna cut these. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take small chunks, like so. And I want to quarter these. Okay, I've had a pot of water boiling for a little bit. I'm just going to add just a teaspoon of any kind of oil. You can do vegetable oil, you can do olive oil. That just helps that oil and all that stuff get mixed up where it don't stick. A lot of people use a lot of salt, but I prefer just regular oil. Okay, this is Jasmine rice, and this is a minute rice. It takes 1 minute to cook this rice. Sometimes I used to use this when I was much younger. I like this because it can get your rice just the way you want it so I can fry it. I can also cook it just the way I want it and fry it, but instead of going through all that and waiting, this only takes 1 minute to 2 minutes to cook, and I have fluffily already used rice. I've got 2 cups of rice here. Now I'm just going to stir this rice up, and it'll take a couple of minutes, and this rice will be done. Okay, I got these bamboo spear sticks, and I've cut those and I've soaked those, so those are ready to go. And then I've got my chicken out of the refrigerator, and it's still in the marination. I'm going to take a stick. I'm going to grab a piece of the chicken, and I'm going to put it on here. And I'm also going to grab an onion, and then I'm going to grab a green pepper. Watch out because you can cut your hand. At the end of this, I want to grab another onion. I want that chicken to be covered in flavor. Okay, so we're going to do the same. We're going to grab another onion, and we're going to put it down. We're going to grab a piece of chicken, and you can fold up the chicken all together. Watch out, do not stab yourself. And then I'm going to get a green pepper, then an onion. And then we're going to get another piece of the chicken. We're just going to grab it because the chicken still got a lot of marinade on it. And we're just going to stick it in the middle without trying not to hurt your hand. And then we're going to wrap that chicken around there. After I put this on here, we're going to kind of do it like this. And we're going to keep going with the chicken. Okay, so these are the kebabs. And these are going to go into my hot skillet. What I did is I cut these in half. And that's the sauce. And I always want that onion. And I'm going to be putting more sauce on these. We got to flip these every now and then and make sure, like that one's got a little crust on it. That one's really got a crust on it. Because we don't want them to burn. We want to get that nice crust though. See that? That's what we're looking for. We're going to keep turning them over and over. That one's not ready, but this is what we want. We want them like so. But in the meantime, we're going to be adding sauce onto these. That same sauce that same teriyaki sauce I told you, I had cooked that on there. It's going to keep adding this teriyaki sauce on here. And I got some more in another pan that we're going to pour on there. So we want to keep teriyaki meats, and we want to make sure the onion and green pepper and all that stuff is getting nice and toasted with these. Okay, next thing I got 4 extra large eggs that I am going to break and put into a bowl. Now, usually you'll use 1 or 2 eggs, but since this is going to be the main egg fried rice, I'm using 4 extra large eggs. Okay, and I'm going to beat 4 large eggs. I'm going to add a pinch of the garlic that we had chopped up, and I'm just going to beat these 4 large eggs up really, really good. This is the oil that I had earlier. I'm going to use all of this oil. Wonderful. A pinch of garlic into this pan. We're going to use all of this garlic through the whole dish until it is completely gone. Okay, that garlic's cooking up. We're going to throw all of our carrots that we cooked into there with that garlic and that oil, and get all of that oil and garlic mixed up so they can get all nice and toasty. And let's let that cook on high and get that right nice. Brussels sprouts go in. Down at the 3 or 4 minutes of frying with this on high. The Brussels sprouts go in. They got to cook with the carrots. They all have to come together at the same time. And we do onions. We got the onions in. We want to put eggs in. And we're going to cook the eggs. Okay. It might be a bean sprout that's left into the pan, or carrot. It's okay. It's all going to go good together anyway. I'm just going to spread this out, and we're going to let these cook hard. And you want to keep chopping that up, because you don't want big old eggs in there, but you want to see them, and you want them to fry hard. Okay, then I'm going to take my fried hard eggs in here. Now our last step is frying our rice. We have another teaspoon of oil, and that's your preference of oil: vegetable oil, olive oil, peanut oil, whatever kind of oil you like to fry in or cook your rice in. Most people like to do. Now that's the rest of the remaining of that garlic I told you I was going to use. That's going to get toasted inside here. All right, and I just want this to cook into our oil and get that fragrance of garlic inside of that oil, because we're going to be putting our rice. Remember that rice that we had? Yeah, and I cooled that down, and I matter of fact, when I did it, I put cold water in there, as you've seen me, and I rinsed that rice off in cold water. So remember, that's in cold water. Okay, we got that up high. We got our oil in the pan there. And as you see that that's the garlic. Okay, I got some brown gravy sauce here. It's a real thick brown gravy, but what it does, I put a little bit in, and it makes it give you that brownish color, like fried rice. And then it turn it that brown color that you're looking for when you get rice at a. Now they're using a rice that looks kind of yellow. Now that rice that they're using that's yellow is actually uh, a Mexican or a rice that they're using in Mexico. That's actually Mexican rice. See that it turned that brown like color to it? It's a really good color. Look at that. But you got to mix it up really fine so it can get that. Mixed it all up so all of this goes inside here. Now try to get get out those bean sprouts as much as juice as possible. Sometimes it does a little bit. I want to get all of that out of here, guys. Look at all of that. Okay? And there you go. And then all I gotta do is just take that rice and I just gotta mix all this up with the eggs. Okay, so now my rice is fully combined all the ingredients together. I have rinsed and cleaned these green onions. Now when you're cutting these green onions and getting ready to fix them, you want to cut these kind of thin. But before you do that, you want to make sure these green onions are really thoroughly washed. We are completely finished and we made our kebabs. I'm saying kebabs, shababs, it's kebabs. Okay, and here they are. These are kebabs, chicken kebabs that we made. Wonderful. I'm just going to lay these on the plate. And as I lay them on the plate, I am going to put more of our sauce. I told you we cooked the same sauce, but we had two different kind of sauce. And one of the sauces that we had, we, glazed them while they were cooking. And then we took the rest of the sauce before we did that, and we cooked one, which it was a thicker. We cooked it until it got really thicker. And then the other one, we kind of put them on there as we went. It was all the raw sauce. We took half sauce and we cooked it. And this sauce, what we did is we just put them on there when they were raw cooking. Okay, and here is our egg fried rice that we made using that minute rice. And I like the minute rice. I used to use it when I was a lot younger. And I noticed this minute rice gives me the looseness that I want when I'm using it. But you can also do it without minute rice. And it's very easy. You can use a rice cooker if you don't know how to cook rice. And if you do, you know what to do. So this is the egg fried rice. And what we're going to do is we're going to scoop some. See those wonderful onions in there? Look at those onions, guys. Those onions, garlic, eggs, and all those great vegetables. And you can also you can put some peas in here if you want, or some snow peas. And I could have did that and forgot. Okay, so like I said, get some green onions. Make sure you cut them very super thin. They taste much better. Here it is, our kebabs, chicken kebabs with vegetables, and our egg fried rice. Hey, what else can you ask for? Hey, I hope you enjoyed my show today. Please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Always come back to see plenty more new dishes. Hey guys, I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.